This is a Tape Deck podcast.
Hello and welcome back to Inside the Runner Studio. This is your host Tom, and with me as always are Aaron, Michael, and Diana.
Hello.
And we are joined by our friend Kelly. Hi, Kelly.
Hi.
How are you?
I am doing fantastic. How are y'all?
Good.
We're good.
Excellent.
Sweltering in New Jersey like it's almost Florida.
Yeah, yeah.
I was going to say, we win that one.
Exactly.
No, we have been hotter than you guys for the last week when I was texting friends in Florida. They were all
Ew.
like, wow, why is it hotter
It's-
where you are?
It's
It was
not
like 98 today, yeah.
It's going to be
that is
100.
That is offensive.
It's going to be
Yeah.
100
Yeah.
degrees
Ugh.
tomorrow here. And that's
No.
without the dew point or the humidity. It's supposed to be
Mm-mm.
feels like 110, I think.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, it's
No,
not
yeah.
really
No.
we're not
It's not
made
pleasant.
we're not built for this.
Yeah, we're not made for Florida temperatures. You can take your weather back, please.
Yeah,
Sorry.
and it's about to be like full-blown summertime thunderstorm here. Like,
Oh,
I
yeah.
was just driving home and I was panicked. I was like, I'm going to get stuck in this freaking thunderstorm
Yeah.
because the sky
That's-
keeps
Yeah.
getting dark.
I think tomorrow is when we're supposed to get
A little
some
more
really
pop-ups.
yeah, some really I think they said severe storms tomorrow.
Yep.
So, Kelly, you know the
Yeah.
drill. We're going to ask you some running-related questions, some
Sure.
non-running-related questions, and get to know you. But do you want to introduce yourself before we do?
Sure. My name is Kelly. I am 46 years old. I am a third generation Floridian, now living in Orlando. So I am what most people wrinkle up their foreheads and call a unicorn here, because I don't think that a lot of people understand that people actually have families and settle down and for multi-generations in the state of Florida. I am a college math professor for a living, so I teach at a state college here in Florida, which shall remain nameless. And I teach freshmen and sophomores, and I've only ever taught adults, and I absolutely love them. And Run Disney kind of got me back into running, and then along with the local track shack races, and obviously y'all know my gem of a husband, so he was a big driving force behind that as well.
Oh, amazing. I had to take non-credit math in college because I was so bad at it. So we're
That's
connected.
okay. That's okay. I got you.
It was like non-credit algebra.
I am aware. I have taught said algebra. I have done this.
Still didn't go well.
So let me ask you a question. As a math professor
hmm
and a Disney aficionado, do you just watch the rising prices and the fact that they keep removing stuff and making the return on investment?
So y'all are probably not gonna like my answer to this because it's gonna make me sound like a total princess. But you know that my husband takes care of all that. Like I am the travel and passenger princess.
Yep.
Mike just does everything, and I will say I am a if it ain't broke, don't fix it person, and Mike is really good at that, and I don't run interference because he's better at it than I am.
Love it.
So
Hey,
I don't make that connection because I'm not the one planning it.
and now that you described it like that, same girl, because Diana just runs the show and makes all the plans, and she does ask me for my opinion, but it would
Yes.
be much harder to navigate had I tried to do this stuff on my own.
And I mean, I can do it myself. I would be fine because I was a Disney person before I met Michael, but it's just so much easier to let him do it because, again, he likes doing it and he is much better at it than I am. So I'll take it.
All right, we're going to jump into oh my God, it's been a while, the running related
That's
questions.
okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
And I've got our first one. What is your weirdest running habit or quirk that you might have?
So I actually will count a lot of things when I'm on a course. I'm sure this is not surprising to anybody. So, and it's random. It's random what I count. Like sometimes I will count the gals or guys that are on, or the days on the course that have like the same skirt that I have on, or sometimes I'm counting my intervals, or sometimes I'm counting the number of character outfits I see if I'm at a Disney race.
Oh, nice.
If it's a local race, then I'll start counting other things like birds, whatever, squirrels. And, you know, my husband definitely notices because we're typically running together. He's like, you are so easily distracted. You are going to trip. You need to pay attention.
I was going to say, you could count like the stripes on the ground or something, because then you'd be paying attention to your feet.
Right, exactly. But it's very random. And I have to say that this is not just a habit that I have on the course. Like, I'm a left-handed person and there's not a lot of us. And so when I'm sitting in front of my classroom, one of the first things I notice on day one is how many of my students are left-handed. It's a very bizarre habit that I have, but I always know, like, oh, this class had 10, and that's really high for a class of 25. Like, that's unusually large. So this is just it's my nerd brain at work.
I love it. That's amazing.
It passes the time.
Yes.
All right. What is your go-to post-run food or drink?
So I am hugely boring. I typically after a run do not want to eat. I know that's sacrilege and I should probably be eating something immediately after I run, but my go-to is usually chugging water. Always.
Yeah.
It's just like, that's what I want. I am not a big consumer of alcohol post-race either. It just kind of gives me the ick feeling. And so I am not in the beer tent. I am not having cider. I am kind of just like, I want to pry these sweaty clothes off myself. Like, I want to get back to the hotel room. Right. I'm like, I don't want to talk to anybody. I'm like, let's go. So
do you want your water like ice cold, or do you want it like room temperature?
So it's always ice cold. I think most of you know this. Like, anytime you go to a race, I always feel like it's very cold, but I would actually prefer to have it room temperature.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'm a room temperature water person.
Same.
So I always I always ask this question because people always think it's weird that I don't come in and get like a giant cup of ice water, but
I don't want ice in it.
For things without ice.
Yeah, no ice. No.
So what is your preferred race distance and why?
So honestly, the longest distance I've run is 13.1, which is a half marathon. And I actually like that for several reasons. I'm not prolific. You know, I am by all accounts a mediocre runner, but I've run almost, I think, 10 half marathons. Wow. And what I really like is that at around mile 9 or 10, I start to feel really good. There's only one time that's not happened. And I just start to feel really good. And I feel as if my body is saying to me, I'm allowed to cuss, right?
Yes.
Am I allowed to cuss?
Oh,
okay.
Yeah, sure.
That my body
I say
is like,
that.
my body is like, all right, bitch, let's get this done. You know? And so it's like I start to feel really good and then I just keep pushing. Right. So I would say that the half marathon has been really fun. It's also been really challenging for me. And it was really, I would say, intimidating to me for the very first time that I ran one. Yeah. Because I was like, I hope I can do this. I hope I can get this done.
Oh, wow.
Diana and I also gave you permission to curse, even though we're not the ones that edit this podcast.
Yep.
Okay, well, I will try very hard to restrain the fresh mouth that I have.
I like how Diana and I jumped in on that immediately, like, oh yeah, go ahead, curse.
It's fine.
I did, and the editing, I didn't even think about that.
We just make Michael edit, and it's fine.
Again, nothing matters anymore. So here's a question. Do you run with music?
Ooh.
Yes. I have to have something.
Yeah.
Can you give me a little bit of a snapshot about like what kind of music? Like,
so my playlist looks like a cracked out squirrel. Chose it. It is Sia. It is The Weeknd. It is 80s and 90s Janet Jackson. There is a little Taylor Swift on there. Flyleaf was something that I just added.
Oh my God.
It's bizarre. Like anybody looking at this is like, what in the actual hell was she on when she made this playlist? So yeah, and I just hit the shuffle, or if I hear a song that I like and I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot I really like the song. And I'm like, oh, add to this playlist. Put that on there. So yeah. There is no rhyme. There is no reason. There's no theme.
There you go.
I think that's like the best. It's just like a bunch of like hype songs. It's like songs that you like.
Mm-hmm. And I'm just as surprised as anybody else when I hit shuffle.
I love that.
Okay, this is also, it's like two Tom typed questions right in a row.
Ooh.
Would you run a race without a medal?
Yeah.
Are you all about the
in fact, I think we have. I think Mike and I have run races without medals. A lot of the local ones, they don't necessarily have medals, and some of them are not chip timed, and it's still a good time. So yeah, why not?
Mm-hmm. I don't know, Tom, why not?
Right? Oh, is that you won't run without a medal, Tom?
He's very bling motivated.
I'm very bling motivated. I also feel attacked a little bit right now, so
there's so many people though that would say absolutely not, that they need a medal.
Oh, that's
true.
Yeah,
like I'm not attacking you. I'm just wondering.
No, I'm not attacking you either. If you don't want to run because there's not something bright and shiny, and that's your thing, then that's your thing.
Oh, Kelly,
you
can attack me. Aaron's not allowed to attack me.
I wouldn't attack you though, because that's just like, that's not my MO.
Oh, it's my MO all the time. I'm always attacking.
She's a little aggressive. But that's okay.
We are going to move into the random questions.
Oh, yes.
What is an incredibly common thing that you've never done?
Does it have to be running, or can it be anything?
No, this is random, so it can be anything.
I will say this per running. I don't wear costumes and actually refuse to wear costumes when I run Disney races.
Oh.
I would say that's definitely a very common thing.
That's a really common thing that I have not done.
Yeah.
I will not, I don't do a costume. And I feel like especially at Run Disney races, everybody is decked out, and all my brain is doing is going, chafing.
I love costuming.
Ouch.
Yeah.
Good. More power to you. So I am boring as hell in that department.
But no, like I keep mine pretty, like if you look at my Stitch one,
it's runnable.
It had like just like the normal shorts and then a sparkle skirt. And then the top part was like you could tell. And I had so like, you can do costuming without like the chafing, like
I just see people like dressed up as like nasty nacho cheese that you get at the end, and I'm like, how are you running with this box around you? Like how does Ryan, this mechanically work?
Ryan on the runs.
I'm impressed, but it's a hard pass for me. It's an absolute no, thank you.
All right. So, what is your favorite Disney character, live action or animated?
He likes to ask this to everyone who likes Disney.
Yeah, I feel like it's a
I probably have two favorites, but if I am forced to choose one, I love Moana. And when I ran, the only princess I've ever run, they had Moana in the merchandise area where you could get your picture taken with her, and I was flipping giddy. I was so happy.
I love
so happy. Yeah, she's absolutely my favorite. That's one of those movies that if I'm having a really crappy day, I will just put it on. Like I have certain movies or certain series that are comfort, and so that's one of them that will come on if I've had a wretched day of being a human.
Follow up. Are you excited for Moana 2?
No, I know that sounds terrible. I'm always so nervous that they're going to
I'm
screw
really
it up.
nervous. And it's
I'm
not
nervous about that
Lin-Manuel.
one.
Because the first one is perfect. It ends perfectly, and like.
But I loved Inside Out. I also loved Inside Out, and Inside Out 2.
I haven't seen it yet.
I haven't seen it yet either.
So yeah, I mean, I think that it's possible to do a 2 okay. But
how did you feel about the second one, Erin? Was it good?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
So like, I think it's possible, and I mean, it's been making like billions of dollars, so it's well reviewed. It's possible, but I agree. Moana is my favorite princess if I'm picking a princess. So I do feel kind of the same way, that I'm a little nervous.
Yes.
Yeah, it's the people that got sued for doing the Bridgerton musical, right? What's her name? Boots and Barlow. They've like one of those names. Yeah. They've got, what is their name? It's something stupid like that. It's like it's like a writing pair that they replace Lin-Manuel with. And then what they're gonna do?
Oh, they replaced him. Oh my gosh!
I don't think they wanted to. They don't want to pay anybody anymore.
Well, yeah. I mean, I almost wanted to boycott Inside Out too.
Oh yeah, because of Mindy Kaling and Bill Hader.
Well, and again, that's why I asked you, because Disgust is my girl, I was like, I don't know how I feel about that.
But honestly, they did such a good job with anxiety. Moving on.
Oh, okay. All right.
No, I don't want to play it. I didn't mean to tangent, is all I meant.
Oh, God.
Tangents are allowed. Math professor approved.
That's all I do.
Math professor approved.
There you go.
Diana and I spend our lives tangenting in this podcast.
We'll run for tangents. So what is the worst food that you've ever eaten?
Oh my gosh. So in 2015, I went to Ecuador, and they eat guinea pig. And so whenever you're traveling in certain parts of the country, they're on like a rotisserie, like you would see a chicken. Okay. In the States. Right. I know. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to upset anybody, but, I said to myself, all right, I'm going to try this. You
have to try it.
Right, because I'm in Ecuador. Who knows when I'm going to be back here? And so my best friend and I tried it, and we swallowed the bite that we took, and I looked at her and she looked at me, and I go, you good? She goes, I'm good. I go, never again. And it was, somebody said, well, what was it about the meat? And I said, the meat was very tender. That was fine. It was the way it smelled. Oh. And so it was extremely off-putting, and it was extremely pungent, and my nose was like, no. So,
it's apparently big in like Peru as well, because I have a friend who did Monte Picchu, and they did guinea pig.
And I had stewed llama while I was there, and that was fantastic. But the guinea pig, I lament the guinea pig. that was gross. It was gross.
Oh, God. Well, keeping with food, I've got the next question, right? All right. A fancy dinner or a hole in the wall with great local food?
I am a food slut, so I don't really have a preference on that. Y'all know a man is bougie. And so,
we know
this bougie man of mine just like loves the expensive dinners. So if I had to say by frequency, it's probably going to be, fancy bougie dinners. Yeah. Although I love a good place that maybe looks like it should be condemned.
Yep.
Maybe you can only pay with cash.
Yep.
It's a little shady, but I'm on board because it smells really good. So yeah, I'm down for both, but dominantly it's fancy in this house.
My stepson would like to be adopted by your husband.
Oh,
I mean, just that one time at Epcot, I think that he was in like absolute heaven.
Yes.
So if you could take him to V&A, he would be a happy boy.
I would like to go to V&A again. That's a meal. That's
Any Disney folk? We were talking about Victorian and Alberts. And
sorry, I don't mean the
Floridian.
alphabet soup either. I should.
No, it took me a minute, but
yeah,
we're good.
All right. If there was a movie about you, what actor or actress would play you?
All right, we're going to stick with the Mean Girls theme here. And I am going to have to say that Tina Fey has to play me.
Yes.
I love that.
Because she is the AP calculus instructor in Mean Girls. And she is left-handed. And I'm like, this bitch rules. Like, when I saw that movie for the first time, I was like, oh, this is perfection. I was like, this is me. When she says, well, this has been sufficiently awkward. Me with my students, whenever they want to ask me something that they should not be asking me, something when I tell them, you need to be thinking about math for the entire hour and 15 minutes that you are with me. And then they will ask me something rando, when I was single, Professor Norris, do you have a boyfriend? I was like, that is not appropriate. No. You cannot ask me that. How is that your business?
They always want to know.
Her
book was pretty funny too. I forget what it was called.
She can do no wrong. She can do no wrong.
It's just full of her ridiculous stories and how awkward she is all the time.
Is that the one where she's on the front and she has disproportionately large or small hands? I can't remember.
So. Yeah, I can't
remember the title of the book, but I can remember the cover of the book.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we're going to head into the James Lipton Memorial questions.
Oh.
And as always, we start off with, what is your favorite word?
I love the word ameliorate, which means to take something that is, less than stellar and improve it. But I love that word because I spent 4 years in Latin when I was in high school. I just had not really fully embraced my nerd yet in high school. It was like teetering, and then college just pushed me over the line. But yeah, I always think about my Latin teacher, Miss Bowles, when I think about that word. So,
oh man, yeah, that's a good one.
And I adored her. I absolutely adored that.
What is your least favorite word?
Oh, y'all, I have so many. I have so many. But I think one of the words that I really just makes me kind of wrinkle up my face is the word icon used right now. And I feel as if it is highly overused and it is misapplied to people who, especially in the influencing sphere, love to say, oh, what an icon. And I'm like, oh God, let me vomit in my mouth. Like, no.
Absolutely.
No, that this is not appropriate. Like Audrey Hepburn. Icon, right? Nelson Mandela, icon, right? Rene Descartes, mathematician and philosopher, icon. Influencer with 20,000 followers, not an icon. Sorry.
You're telling me that the Hawk Tua girl is not an icon?
Okay, now see, that was going to be my least favorite word, but I didn't feel like it was one word because it's really two and it's hyphenated, so I didn't know if I could count it. But I am very over Hawk Tua. It could die a violent death right now.
Hey.
Yeah, it's worn out its welcome.
It just it just makes me think of snot for whatever reason.
Well, yes, okay.
That's fair.
Okay, not the act that she's referring to, but it makes me think of snot for whatever reason, and I'm just like,
I don't want to think about either any of it in any context. Good, thank you. Let's move on.
Oh God.
Right, see, I told you I was going to try to tame my fresh mouth. I'm really trying.
Well, then this should be easy. What turns you on?
It's probably the same thing that turns Tom on.
Well, it's not feet, is it?
No, it's your husband.
I was going to say mine is definitely not feet, because I tell Michael all the time that he has ratchet ass feet and they are craggly and that you need to put some lotion on those. I would say for me, I'm obviously attracted to men because I am married to a man, but it is when men find intelligence sexy. Like that whole mindset is very attractive to me because, you know, we don't get everything. And I have a big brain. Like the first time Michael introduced me to one of his friends, it was the very first time that we met face to face. He said to his friend Dan, he said, "Hey, Dan, ask Kelli what she does for a living. She has a really big brain." And I was like, dude, this guy could totally get laid tonight and he doesn't even know it.
My man.
So yeah, that whole mindset is very attractive to me.
Okay, then what turns you off?
I would say willful ignorance turns me off. And that's not just in romantic relationships. That is just in general. That is something that I struggle with often, where somebody has access to information and access to know better and do better, and they are willfully ignorant. That drives me absolutely flippin' insane.
Yeah, it's the worst.
Yeah, that's
that and gross man feet.
I mean, I just gotta live with them. I mean, they're not gonna get any better. It's not like he's gonna stop running. So
we all do. We all
trust
we all
me.
do.
Fortunately, he's never lost a toenail, which wouldn't gross me out. But I don't know how Mike, with all of his running, has never lost a toenail. I don't know how that happens.
It seems like a pretty big feat.
Oh, I see what you did there.
That was awkward. I didn't know what to say.
I see what you did there.
This is my.
Oh my God!
All right, that was my laughter.
All right, Kelli. What sound or noise do you love?
I'm gonna be a bougie bitch for a minute.
Ooh.
I love to hear the cork pop on a bottle of champagne.
Amen.
It makes me do the happy dance. Like if I'm sitting in a restaurant and I hear it and I didn't even order it, I'm like, ooh, that just makes me so happy.
And then on the other side of that, what sound or noise do you hate?
I am quite certain people in this group have the same hate that I do for this. Is I do not like to listen to people chew. I don't want to hear you chew.
It's my worst.
I need
some, my number one.
And you don't even have to be a loud chewer. I just want to fully disclose here. It's just the sound of the chewing. And this has only happened to me within like the last 5 or 6 years. It's this idiosyncrasy that I have developed. I don't know how. I don't know why. I just hear it and I'm like, oh my gosh, I want to murder you. I
go into a full
right now. Right. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I make Mike turn on the TV at home. I'm like, okay, I can hear you chewing. You need to turn on the TV.
Yep.
Like, put something on. So yeah, I'm awful.
What is your favorite curse word? Make him edit.
Without
Make
a doubt.
him edit. Say it a bunch of times.
And one of my favorite phrases, use is around and find out. Like, and I love it so much. It just has, its shine has not dulled yet. So.
All right. So what profession other than your own would you like to attempt?
Yeah, I keep telling Mike when I retire from teaching that I would have loved to do anything that was botany or horticulture oriented, but especially with tropicals, because I'm a big orchid freak. I have 6 orchids and I absolutely love them. But like whenever I see people,
what's the trick to keeping them alive?
I wish I could tell you I killed a lot of them in my 20s. And I just became more patient, and you have to get them, the genus species that you have to be like really specific and know what kind of light it likes, what kind of moisture it likes. You just have to get it in a place where it's happy, and then you don't move it. Do not move it because you're going to make it unhappy. So yeah,
I've killed many an orchid.
Yeah, super easy to do, Erin. Super easy to do. And now our admin assistant in the office, she got gifted one and she looks at me and she goes, I don't know what to do with this. I said, I will take it home. I'm going to repot it for you. And then I'm going to buy some fertilizer for it and it'll all be fine. And it has like 3 new leaves. It's very happy. And she's like, it would have been dead if I had been preparing for it. So yeah, but my mom's side of the family was orange groves and cattle on the west side of the southwest side of the state. So I do think it's kind of something that's just been passed down.
Yeah.
From my grandparents to my parents to me, is just how to handle plants and how to care for them. So it's a little bit of an advantage.
There you go.
Yeah.
And
exactly.
What profession would you not like to attend?
So it's actually I would say a sister profession of mine. I would never want to teach middle school.
Very fair.
It
Not
is
in a million
such
years.
a weird, gross age. They are hormonal. The boys smell like wet dogs, or that they've bathed in half a bottle of Axe.
Yeah.
Girls, it's like puberty. It's rough. They're an estrogen-fueled nightmare. I am just like,
they're so mean.
I just don't even want to screw with that. Like that age group. No, it makes me just want to like gouge my eyes out. I could not do it. Bless everybody that does it, because they have far more patience than I do. I could not do that for a living.
The boy smell thing is real.
I mean, I don't think I have to tell you this, but yes. I mean, I only smell it when I'm running in our neighborhood and they whiz by on their bikes or on their electric scooters. And I'm like, oh, what is that?
So, Kelli, I get the privilege of asking you our final question, but before I do, thank you very much for joining us.
Well, thank you for having an amateur like me on here.
So, Kelli, if heaven exists, what would you like to hear God say when you arrive at the pearly gates?
Yeah, I feel like this is probably a pretty common answer, but I would hope that that I was able to see every single pet I've ever had in my entire lifetime, and that they're all healthy and they're all happy, and that, that's what heaven is like. Because I feel like it wouldn't be bliss if that wasn't the case. Yeah. And grandmas too. Throw grandmas in for good measure. Yeah.
Is there any shout outs you want to give? Are there any shout outs you want to give? Any parting words of wisdom?
No, I did not run my first half marathon until I was 45 years old. Okay. And I'm 46 right now. The distance really freaked me out. I was incredibly scared of it. As long as you train, you put your effort in, and you do what you're supposed to do to prepare for that race, it's really never too late to start. And I had never run a distance longer than about 4 or 5 miles up to that. I casually ran when I was in college on trails to help me de-stress with my dog, but I had never run anything longer than that. And have somebody that's really supporting you. I'm very fortunate that I have a husband that was very supportive and kept saying, you can absolutely do this. And I kept it very quiet. Like, I didn't say anything to anybody. Like, it was Mike and maybe 2 of my girlfriends knew that that's what I wanted to do. And it was a goal of mine to do that. Actually, it was a goal of mine before I turned 45. So I did my first one. So let me correct myself. I did it at marathon weekend before I turned 45, because I turned 45 at the end of January, and that was at the beginning of January. And I ugly cried. Ooh, I bawled like a baby. Oh, it was such a good feeling, because I thought, my old ass body can do this. My body can do this. So, but I still don't think I ever want to do a marathon. Y'all are nuts. 26 miles. I'm just like, oh, no, ma'am. So that's what I would have to say if anybody's thinking about, getting into it. It's not too late. You just have to prepare. You have to prepare, and you have to train. So, and you have to figure out what works for you. So, there you go.
Good.
All right. Well, again, thank you very much for being on with us.
Thank you very much for having me.
And I will awkwardly say we will talk later.
Awesome.
Yes, you will. Yes, you will. We will all talk later.
Thanks, Kelli. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.